Hello friends and colleagues, welcome once again to another video in our Moodle training course for Mater Dei College. In this video, we will be designing the phase 1 of our LMS Learning Module in Moodle. Before we proceed, make sure that you have reviewed the topics discussed by Dr. Mardi Verano during her training webinar on online learning modules. The slide she used is available as a reading resource in this Moodle section. So if you haven't reviewed it yet, please pause this video and go ahead and read the slides so that you'll fully understand the concepts of the LMS Learning Module before we actually dive into designing our own LMS Learning Module. By the mere fact that you are here viewing this part of the video, I can only assume that you have already reviewed the slides provided for us by Dr. Mardi Verano about the online learning module. And we can now proceed with the demonstration on the design of LMS Learning Module in Moodle. For this demonstration, I will be designing my first week of my Data Structures and Algorithms class for first semester. Of course, like everything in our LMS design, we'll be basing our contents on our syllabus. So let me check on my syllabus. So my syllabus is this one, week 1, 3 hours. Here are my learning outcomes, lessons, TLAs, assessments, and learning resources. For this particular video, we will be skipping the creation of assessment schemes. We will dedicate a separate video for adding assessment schemes in the future. Okay, so let's proceed. Since we will be designing our LMS Learning Module as if we were conversing with our students in the classroom, we'll do so right here. The first thing we need to put is the intended learning outcome for this particular module. So we can do that by editing our section, or this week, edit the week. So in the summary, we can write our conversation. For example, we can welcome them, welcome. And of course, our lesson is based on what we have in our syllabus. So I'll just copy this one. Oops. So we can put also the intended learning outcome. And make this bold letter. And put it below. Okay. Save. There you go. You have your simple conversation on telling your students what is the intended learning outcome for this particular week. You might also want to edit this if you want to. My preference is I will edit this shortening the date and then adding the title of the lesson for this particular week. So let me do that. Alright, there you go. Next thing is we are going to add our resources. Of course, the first resource I will be putting here is the video lecture for review on Java arrays. To do that, we are going to add a resource. We can click on this add an activity or resource. Since we'll be adding a video, we are going to add a file. Here's the file, and click on add. For every item that you add into your LMS Learning Module, you have to give it a name, and you talk to your students through the description. So here, I call this Java arrays review. And then we will talk to our students about this. Please watch this video about Java single dimensional arrays attentively. Please take note of any questions that may arise while watching this video, so that you can ask me those questions during our live sessions. Okay? Make sure that you click on display description on course page, otherwise this particular description will not be shown in the course page. So we'll check that one up. And then we are going to find our video and put it here. You can click and then click on browse to look for that video. My video resources as well as reading materials, they are all organized in a particular folder. I have here a folder for my first SEM classes, and under that first SEM classes, I have folders for my classes individually, and inside the data structures algorithm, I have my video right here. So I suggest you also do the same, so that your files will be organized. Click on open and then upload this file. There you go. And then the appearance, you are going to decide. You have some options here: embed, force download, open, in pop-up. If you do automatic, the Moodle system will decide, depending on the type of file this is, on what to do when the user clicks on it. If you do embed, it is going to play the video right there on the page. If you do force download, when the student clicks on that particular resource, it will trigger a download dialog box. And if you open up, it's going to open up the video on a video player. If it's in a pop-up, it will open up a new browser window pop-up and play the video there. In my opinion, I'd like to use the force download so that all my students will have the same user experience, both those who will be always online and those who will be online for a particular time only. So for those students who will only be online to download my resources, so they will only be downloading those instead of viewing it, so that they can view it at home. So I do force download. Other than that, everything else will just be the same, and then save and return to course. So that's how you add a video. Next item we're going to add, since we cannot add a live demo for Zoom because this is our live sessions, we have document and web reading. It will be based on our learning resources here. I have a notes, a sample program, and a link. So these are the things that we are also going to add into our resources. So first you have the notes. A notes is still just a file because the notes that I will be giving them is a PDF file. So I also have file here. And of course, I'll have lecture notes. Again, talk to your students about this particular item. Please read this lecture notes for better understanding of the lesson. Some of the quiz questions will certainly be taken from this note. Okay. All right. Thank you, Grammarly. Of course, don't forget to take the display description on course page. And then another way of putting a file here is by opening an explorer, file explorer, and drag that item into the box, just like so. Okay. And then the appearance. This is also going to do force download and save and return to course. Next that we need to add is the sample program. It's still a file. So let's do that very quickly. Same process. Alright, so now we have 3 resources in our LMS Learning Module. Next is the link. So here's the link for that article about Java arrays. So let me add that as well. Add activity or resource. It's still a resource. So we have here our URL. Click on add. And it's a good idea to open up that particular URL yourself so that you can see how it's titled. So it's titled Java Arrays. You can just copy this one. And of course the URL is this one. Right there. Again, talk to your students about this. And since it's just a URL, we'll just use automatic for its display appearance. And save and return to course. There you go. So for the next video, we'll be adding into this particular LMS Learning Module, we'll be adding activities, process questions, and of course another separate video for adding assessments.